Welcome back, everyone. Fariha of the Money and Fariha Show, having a riveting conversation with Mr. Alan Thrasher, who is a nutrition expert as well as a muscle activation specialist. So prior to the break, we were talking about how food is food, exercise is exercise. There truly is no good and bad. It's just the way that our body relates to it. So a question for you, Alan. We hear things like, good fats, bad fats, white poison when it comes to sugar and salt. So where did all these concepts come from?
Well, they come from educational system that actually tells us there's a good or bad. Mm-hmm. Like everything we learned is good or bad. There's black or white. It's that way. Yeah. And in science, it's never that way. If you've ever noticed how people, you look on the media, there's fats that used to be really bad for you. Stay away from fats. Now they're good for you.
Yeah.
Why? Because
it's constantly changing.
As science changes and as we understand the body, mm-hmm. and the body's always changing, so is science. So it's never a fixed answer.
It's a constant evolution by the sounds of things. It's a constant
evolution, just like your body is. How tall are you, Fariha?
I believe I'm 5'4".
Good. You weren't born 5'4".
True, I wasn't.
So
that would have been difficult for my mom.
Exactly. But at some point, your body adapted and got bigger and taller. And that's what I'm saying. You're never going to stay 5'4" either, because as you age, you'll shrink. Mm-hmm. That's how the body works. So your body operates by communication. It tells us through our symptoms what needs to change. But we, medically, have been told, let's suppress the symptom. I'll give you an example. So you have high sodium in a blood work, like mm-hmm. high salt.
Yes.
A doctor may tell you to avoid salt, which might be temporarily beneficial. Mm-hmm. However, salt regulates how you handle stress. How many people handle stress? Every single one of us.
Yes, for sure.
And as we speed up, our stress goes up.
So the more stress in our lives,
the more salt our body needs to keep managing how we handle stress.
That's quite enlightening.
So the point is, you could actually reduce the salt.
Yes.
As one method.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at statistically, that hasn't changed heart disease. That hasn't changed the impact of too much salt.
So what you're saying is we can have the benefits of reducing salt, but they're going to impact how we handle stress.
Exactly. You're going to lose out long term, and that's where medicine is failing us, I believe, mm-hmm. is because we're taking away one thing, but then later on we have a new issue related mm-hmm. to the same issue over here. So because the body robs from one area to save another. Mm-hmm. And so you can do that, you can avoid salt.
Yeah.
Which may benefit you temporarily. But down the road, you won't be able to handle stress. So you'll go through depression. You might go through mood swings. Yeah. You might also go through, what else? Body odor is a simple thing that people deal with all the time. Because the body's not regulating water at that point. So you're mm-hmm. constantly dealing with dehydration states and stuff. Dry hair, falling out hair, those are all related to salt.
Yeah. So part of dehydration is not sufficient electrolytes, right?
Exactly.
Which is the salt and sugar.
Salt and potassium. So here's how I would deal with it. Get mm-hmm. to know you first, how you handle stress. Mm-hmm. And then go, okay, well, maybe we need more potassium. So I enrich your foods with potassium-based foods. Yeah. I keep having you eat the foods you want. I just add the potassium foods on top of it. Okay. And your body just starts to regulate the salt itself. Yeah. Because that's how the body adapts to the environment. Mm-hmm. Problem is that we don't look at adding to our food. We take away from our food. Yes. We got to reduce the calories, reduce mm-hmm. the amounts. No. Your body burns energy 24/7, so you need more food. Mm-hmm. Eat more food.
Eat more food. Yeah. And coming from someone who's so slim, it's like, okay, so we just need to eat more food. But
again, that's another part of the myth.
Yes.
I could look slim, but I had cancer. I could look slim and have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So looking healthy does not always mean healthy. What we're dealing with is a society wanting results. Here's the trick to health. Are you breathing?
Yes.
Is your heartbeat pumping?
As far as I'm aware.
Then your brain doesn't care about anything else. So
total just survival mode.
Your brain will give you cancer if it protects another part of your body. That's how simple that is.
Yeah.
It's so simple, people can't believe it.
Because what is cancer? Just a bunch of cells.
Just the cells that reproduce over fast.
Yeah.
But people aren't asking, well, here's the thing. Can we ever stop cell reproduction, really?
No.
No, we die if we do. So the brain will actually speed up cell reproduction if it means that our cells are dying too fast.
Okay.
So if our cells are dying too fast over a 10-year period, our bodies will mutate the cells so they don't die. We end up with a tumor 10 years later. That's why cancer takes 10 years to show up. Because it takes 10 to 20 years before the DNA changes and oh wow.
And the cells mutate.
And the cells mutate. Now we're going after the tumor versus deal with the real issue.
Why do they start?
Our cells are dying anyway. So why don't we support the cells in living and have the body deal with the tumor itself? And that's the fundamental of my coaching is whatever result you've got right now that you don't like, you've trained it.
Okay, so take responsibility. You created it for yourself.
You actually trained it over time, over habits. And the common habit that you think is that you think is helping you is probably the key that's...
It's probably being detrimental.
Now what I do is instead of taking away the habit, I actually get to understand, well, why would the brain want that habit versus 20 million other opportunities of a habit? So
because there's a number of options, as you just mentioned.
Well, let's look at the smoking habit, okay?
Okay.
So I wrote an article, when was it, 20 years ago. I'm only 42, but I wrote an article.
He looks 20.
I wrote an article that said smoking was good for you.
Okay.
But here's why. Because if it was bad for you, really, our body would throw up. Our body would resist doing it.
Which is the occurrence for some people who first start smoking, right?
Yes, but then they override it because the body figures out how to use it.
Okay.
So that's the point. Once the body figures out what it can use it for, then the body will keep it. But here's the thing. If I've got low blood sugar, which is a constant thing that I see with people. They don't eat on time. They don't eat enough protein. They eat tons of sugar. Right? The body will need a stimulant every so often to keep the insulin balanced. But if I'm not getting that from my food, my body will use coffee or smoking to keep the insulin regulated so that your brain is happy. Now the problem is...
Our body is an amazing machine, isn't it?
It is.
It regulates and it uses everything. It's the ultimate recycler.
Exactly. Well, what it is ultimately what it's doing is, okay, how can I use this to my benefit? And so you use smoking to deal with your low blood sugar. And you don't know you're doing it because all you feel is, I need to smoke. Okay? But if you don't underlyingly change the diet to match the need for the sugar, or the blood sugar, I should say, your craving for smoking will always be there. Your craving for alcohol will always be there. Your craving for coffee will always be there.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. One of my colleagues was telling me that he gave up smoking. And he said, but he's also changed his lifestyle, like his eating habits. He's going more to the gym. And now the fact that he has given up smoking, he's like, Fariha, even food tastes different. Like everything has changed for him.
Yes, because it's a habit over time. And he was taking shortcuts with the cigarette. And once he changed the habits, the lifestyle habits. And he started eating, but once he started eating better, his the ease of changing the habit of smoking was like that. I used to be an alcoholic. Did I tell you that?
I don't know if you shared that with me.
No, I was an alcoholic, and in college, like everyone goes wild in college, but I couldn't stop after I started.
Okay.
Okay. When I discovered that I didn't eat every 5 hours, and that's why my body craved alcohol, as soon as I did that, my alcohol craving disappeared. Like
as easy as that.
A day.
Yes.
Because my brain actually got energy. And that's all your brain cares about. Your brain cares about energy. It doesn't care what you look like, doesn't care what you feel like, just cares, do I have enough energy to get through my day?
About fueling itself.
It doesn't care about how. That's why it allows smoking. That's why it allows drinking.
Yeah.
Because your body's able to convert those things into temporary energy. The problem is, long term, you have other issues. So you use smoking to deal with an energy crisis, you're going to have a low thyroid.
All right.
You're going to have a low thyroid, you're going to have
so low metabolism.
Low metabolism, you're going to realize that you can't sleep well. You're going to have other side effects because inherently you're not getting real energy. You're using the smoking or
it's appeasement.
It's appeasement versus actually changing something.
Yes.
That's where all diseases are coming from. Diseases, in my view, are the body's answers to bad habits.
Yeah. And isn't that the title of your book?
Yeah, diseases, the body's answers to bad habits.
There you go. And is it available now?
It's not available now. It's been published by the end of the month.
Okay, very good.
I've been dealing with that, but it's really about every craving and every symptom that you have tells us what your body's missing, really. Yeah. And when we put that stuff in and we change the habits around it, the disease will disappear. Sugar cravings are not bad, as you said. White death.
Oh my gosh, well, you and I have been talking about the chocolate chip cookies, which are available at that bakery.
Man, I love my chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Sugar is not bad. It's only the rate of which it goes through your body which has a negative impact.
Okay.
So everything fundamentally is sugar.
Yeah.
From
carbohydrates even broken down.
Even broken down, vegetables are sugar. Eventually it becomes, it becomes glucose. The problem is the rate at which it goes through your body causes damage. So when you eat table sugar, it hurts your liver. When you eat fruit sugar too much, it hurts your pancreas. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's reversed. Okay. Fruit sugar, when you have tons of fruit in your diet, will hurt the liver function. Okay. And the white sugar will hurt the insulin. So even it's all about the rate of which how it goes through your system. Does your body handle it? Okay. And the answer for most people today is no. Yeah. That's where you're getting all this diabetes and even swelling in the legs. It's all sugar related. So what I do is I coach people on not getting rid of the disease or problem. Yeah. I coach them in discovering what's the main habit around it that they can't.
Self-inflicted main habit around it.
Pretty much the habit around it. Actually, I have this one client. Yes. You know, her name's Andrea. She had 20 years of back pain, like debilitating. Yeah. $100,000 worth of rehab.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Now she's in the insurance business, so really wasn't a lot for her, but
the benefits covered it.
But nothing worked. And she walked into my office late. She's from Barrie. She's a wonderful lady. And it was in 30 seconds I figured out why.
Within 30 seconds?
I saw her walk and I said, okay, you're not landing on this toe very well. Let's see what's happening. Okay. And I assessed her rib cage on the opposite side. She had no muscle strength at all. So instead of landing on the ground, her body was crashing on the ground, which had to go to her back. Her back was so strong, her abs weren't. Okay. Once I actually just had her hip move differently through muscle activation, she had no more pain. And I've only seen her
after 20 years.
After 20 years, and she only saw me once. Yeah.
And we actually have Andrea's testimonial, which we will post on our Facebook page for anyone who wishes to review it. That was very generous of her to, you know, share that with all of us.
Yeah, and I've had numerous things. I now started working with autism.
Yes, children with autism, and you're getting great results with that.
Well, they're now calmer, and they don't understand why, and it's because I'm not looking at autism as the problem. I'm looking at autism as the result of damage. Something happened, and the body had to respond. So.
And could that be within the womb? Because oftentimes they say children are born with autism.
Autism typically is not born with. Autism, you do acquire it. Okay? That's what I've learned.
Yeah. So what can be acquired at such a young age as a baby?
Well, you know, there's tons of stresses that we come in contact with, right? Yeah. I'm not saying flu shots are bad or good. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of metals in flu shots. We don't know how the nervous system will interact with that. Yeah. We don't know the impact of those things. So we find out later. That's why medicine finds out later.
Always.
Oh my God, this is causing this, right? 20 years later, you now have medications leaving the shelf because they've seen 20 years of changes.
Yes.
So autism could be caused by metals in flu shots. Might not be, but could be. There's also metals in meat. So
basically, the underlying factor is metal, wherever it may be
for the most part, I've read there is heavy metal toxicity inside the brain. Okay. So I've also discovered through physical working with them, they've got no energy to the brain.
Oh, really?
Yes, they use adrenaline, so they're always hyper.
That's why.
That's why they look like they've got tons of energy. They don't. Once they calm their muscles down, you know, Jordan slept for 2 days, like literally couldn't wake up because he was so exhausted.
Yeah.
So most people don't realize is that just because you have energy doesn't mean it's real energy. Just could be adrenaline. Yeah. You could be adrenaline junkie.
What you're running on.
Yeah,
what
like
you really need is a good nap.
How many people drink coffee?
Yes.
Why do they do that? And do they drink coffee at 3 in the afternoon? Because that's when the thyroid's the worst. So your metabolism is lowest at 3 p.m. Okay. So most people, they get tired around the same time. Well, that might be an energy crisis and they may not know it. And with autism, what I've found so far, after 4 weeks, is he's got no energy to control his muscles. So his body's using tons of adrenaline to keep him going, keep him going, keep him going. Wow. Well, then you're not going to have him calm. You're not going to have him relax. He won't want to sit down. And when he reacts, he's going to be an outburst. Because that's what adrenaline does. It's a fighting hormone.
So that's why he's cranky and irritable.
Exactly. Well, it's not just that. He overreacts. So it's not just like I'm now upset. Here we go.
It's a full-blown tantrum.
It's a whole full-blown tantrum. So it's his brain overloaded with adrenaline, in my view. Because I've worked with Jordan for about 4 weeks, and the calmness that he did a puzzle for 2 hours without moving.
That's amazing.
That's never happened to him before. And he sat in a doctor's office for 2.5 hours, and he just turned to his mom and said, I'm tired. When are they going to see me? And
that's not unheard of, unfortunately, at the doctor's office.
But before that would be like, I'm going to scream. I'm going to carry on. So I'm really excited about what's possible.
I think all of us are, especially people who have children with autism or suffer with autism themselves. This is leading edge research and the breakthroughs.
The final thing that I want to leave people with is I don't care why you have what you have. You can come into me with cancer. You can come into me with autism. You can come into me with anything you have. I don't care about that. Why you got that is irrelevant. How we get you out of it is very simple. Look at the habits around it. Because going back and trying to figure out what happened won't change the fact that you have it.
So what are we going to do about it from this
point
going
forward? What are you going to do about
it
going forward? And that's where most people aren't actually dealing with. They want to find out why they're overweight. Who cares? You're overweight. Let's go.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Now let's get past it.
And that's what people that I've helped with cancers and all sorts of things, And I said, don't worry about that.
Yes.
Worry about what you're going to do, where you're going from here. Worry about the future you're going to do, and then it'll take care of itself. We'll discover it together. Because that's fundamentally that's my philosophy.
Yeah. And what a wonderful philosophy it is. Thank you so much, Alan, for being with us and for sharing your wealth of knowledge and expertise and wisdom. You really do embody so much wisdom, and I've learned so much from you, even though every time we converse, I learn something from you.
Yes.
Yes, it's really great. So thank
you.
you. We look forward to having you on again because this conversation just wasn't enough.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank each and every one of you for tuning in and listening to this conversation. If anyone would like further information from Alan Thrasher, we will be posting all of his details on our Facebook page. He truly is an amazing coach and an amazing person. And today you heard the analytics behind it. It's not just hearsay. Like, this is a person who has spent so much time and energy and personal devotion into finding out the root cause. Things are the way that they are, and now it's a case of looking forward and making things better. So forget about the past. We're not going in that direction. Keep looking and moving forward. And until next time, when we will be moving forward and having you move forward with us, goodbye and God bless.